The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
I wish you didn't have to go,
she says.
There's got to be work on some of those buildings going up.
His thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Her words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale, my vagrant song. This will be my tale, my vagrant song.
The man is the color of mill dust. His smile creases his face like folds in dough. He gestures you inside the dilapidated structure and shouts over the sound of driving wheels.
You're welcome to sleep here. You don't want to rest by the river. Not in the evening. Insects.
Man shoves the broken door closed behind you. The mill is warm, and the air is heavy with the powder kicked up by your entrance. You realize how easy it would be to drift off on this pile of sacks to the loud but constant sound of the grinding wheels. Pain sears your spine. Why did you sleep at this ridiculous angle? Your back complains from being draped over the millstone. That's good the mill is totally abandoned. Its works long ago disconnected, or your legs would have been pulverized. The man is gone. This is not a place to linger. stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue, unusual in this region where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement. You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence. You cup the water in your hands, ice cold somehow, and take a swallow, soothing the coarseness in your parched throat. Clear as the water is, the stream bed isn't visible, even looking straight down. Your feet don't reach the bottom, so you float in the cool water, feeling washed clean. The ripples flow as far as you can see, never fading. The winged goat snorts and heads in the other direction. By nightfall, the hospitality of this sleepy hamlet, combined with their superstitious tales, has both overstuffed your stomach and filled you with a hollow dread. Folks say these woods are full of apparitions, witches, and worse. You curse yourself for getting on the road so late. In the moonlight, every valley and hollow at the feet of the Tappan Zee seems like a stolen shred of the abyss itself. Fireside tales seem less fanciful, and every cackling crow and moaning whippoorwill seems like a demon perched on the shivering, spindly trees. But something cuts through the noise. The muffled sound of hooves galloping on the cold, muddy road. When he finally slows his horse alongside you, it's as though he had just appeared out of the mist. He's astride a gigantic black courser, and though his boots are muddy and ragged, he wears an immaculate coat with great, shining buttons. From his saddle hangs an antiquated flintlock and a cavalry saber. In the darkness, you can hardly see above his towering shoulders. His voice is a rumbling croak, deep, but as though his throat is filled with thorns. Have you happened upon a cannonball around here? You can tell English isn't his first language. German is. His hand, so pale it's almost blue in the moonlight, grips the reins in a fist. Suddenly, you remember a story you heard, and you dash into the underbrush where the horse cannot follow, hearing a croaking sound that could be laughter. Over your shoulder, just for a moment, you see the headless rider hurrying on toward some forgotten battlefield. As you walk along the river near an unfinished bridge, men with a tool belt catch a sight of you. "Hey, over there," he calls out. "You look like you could use a quick way to get some hard-earned money." Hard-earned is right. The bridge hangs high over a perilous drop. He laughs uproariously. "Absolutely not." High above the water, you see raptors with enormous wingspans wheeling through the sky. "We'll have little more protection than them," the man says, "but not much more." His eyes sparkle. He clearly loves this work. "Must be afraid of heights," he says. "Guess it ain't for everyone. Doesn't scare me, though. We Thunderbird people fly when we fall." He grins. A little way down the road, you look back and see he's already halfway back up the scaffolding, utterly at home in the sky.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good. We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand. So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones. Got nightmares enough without hearing that kind of horror. I lack any faith in luck. It has never served me. Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore. I don't really scare at that stuff anymore. Sorry. My wishes come true? Well, if I could wish for anything, it'd probably be for a nice, plentiful garden, away from everyone else. My own land, my own laws, my own... So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones. I don't mean to be rude, but civvies don't understand what real tragedy is. Imprisonment? The more days I check off, the more I'm convinced that birth is an imprisonment. I must eat, so I must have money. I must have money, so I must work. It's an inevitable prison. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind. Got nightmares enough without hearing that kind of horror. Freedom is getting paid what you deserve, and getting enough to get by. Freedom is the ability to be free of pain. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones? Huh. And that's the funniest one you have? Choice. I don't remember the last time I was in the position to choose. It's do this or feel pain, do this or starve. Is it really a choice if it's between suffering or not suffering? The sun's coming up soon. I should get ready to get back on the road. I'm headed out this way next. Will our paths cross? If you see any others like me, treat them well. Invite them to share your fire, too. Even if they look well and whole. None of us are whole, really. None of us have got what we're owed.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands. He looks up as you approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs... Well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me. He holds out a brown envelope. The letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street, but the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you. There's no J Street. Over here. A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley. Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall.
I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right.
As you round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket. The man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter. You read the letter, omitting a few key details, but his face still falls.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale, my vagrant song. This will be my tale.